Good afternoon, YouTube. It's the 2nd of October. The NBA preseason tipped off today between the Knicks and the Sixers, but we're not going to talk about either of those teams. Rather, on today's episode of 30 for 30, we will be talking about the Golden State Warriors, the team that beat the Rockets in the first round last year and ultimately fell to the Timberwolves in the second round. Now, this team finished at the 7th seed in the Western Conference with a record of 48-34, most of those wins coming due to a great run down the stretch after the acquisition of Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. The big looming issue for the Warriors this offseason was trying to find a suitor or a contract for Jonathan Kuminga, who was a restricted free agent. The Golden State Warriors did not feel that Jonathan Kuminga fit with the team well enough to justify the money that he was asking for. They offered him a 3-year, $75 million contract in which Kuminga declined. They also offered a 3-year, $54 million fully guaranteed contract that Kuminga also declined. On the flip side of the coin, the Warriors were offered trade packages including Malik Monk and first-round picks from the Sacramento Kings, or Royce O'Neal and second-round picks from the Phoenix Suns, both of which the Warriors did not feel was adequate compensation for what Kuminga is worth on the open market, even if they didn't feel he was worth that much to their franchise. The big reason this handcuffed the Golden State Warriors this offseason is because they couldn't use that cap space elsewhere without necessarily knowing what they were going to be paying Kuminga, who was a restricted free agent. So players such as Seth Curry, Al Horford, and Gary Payton II, though they had deals in place with the Warriors, couldn't officially sign on until they knew what the number was that Jonathan Kuminga was going to be commanding, or what compensation the Warriors would get back in a trade package with a potential suitor. Ultimately, over the last day, Kuminga and the Warriors agreed on a 2-year, $48.5 million deal with a team option in the second year. Now, it's fully expected that once Kuminga becomes available to be traded on January 15th, he won't be on this Warriors roster. They will likely look to move him before the deadline in February, in which case the new team that acquires him will have the option to either terminate the second year of his contract or keep him and let him walk in free agency in 2027, where he will be an unrestricted free agent, or potentially even give him the money that he was asking for and extend him for a longer period of time. Because Kuminga and the Warriors have finally agreed to a deal, within the last 48 hours after the signing, we have seen the Warriors fill out the rest of their roster, signing Al Horford, signing DeAnthony Melton, signing Gary Payton II, as well as Seth Curry. Now, this is probably not the best thing entering the preseason and training camp. However, this is a very veteran group of starters. As a matter of fact, this is the first time in NBA history that a team on opening night will have 4 starters over the age of 35, with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and Al Horford. The 5th starter in that Warriors lineup is today's X Factor, Brandon Podziemski. Pods is entering year 3 and coming off of an impressive sophomore season where he led the Warriors in rebounding and plus-minus. We saw a player that we did not know Pods quite yet had in him last April, as he averaged 17 points per game on 48% shooting from deep as the Warriors fought for a playoff spot. Now this year, I don't expect the Dubs to be fighting for a playoff spot come in April. I expect this team to be a top 6 seed. However, I still think it's worth monitoring the growth of Brandon Podziemski because he's going to be eligible for a rookie extension next offseason. I would also monitor head coach Steve Kerr, who is entering the final year of his contract with the Golden State Warriors. He had an interesting press conference earlier this week where he said he would keep all options open regarding his future with the team. Now, this sounds like Steve Kerr is going to potentially go into free agency for a coach, if you will, and kind of see what exactly the Warriors do to their roster going into the 26-27 season, and I think it also says that he's more so focused on this season alone. After all, his mentor Phil Jackson did similar things when he left the Lakers for a couple of seasons, or when the Bulls got rid of Jordan and he decided to step away from basketball before coming back. I could see Steve Kerr doing something very similar to that. Now, the final verdict is Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler might be the smartest trio in the league without a close second. And it's really hard to say that this Warriors team isn't going to be at least where they were last year, given the run that they went on since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. This was a top 7 defense in the league last year that I think is only going to get better by adding Al Horford into that starting lineup as well. I fully expect this team to be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference, and while I won't go as far as saying that they have a potential to knock down a team like Oklahoma City or Denver, I do think that come postseason time, this will be a team we talk about as somebody who could potentially take down one of the top seeds in the West, or potentially even hear talks about Curry winning number 5, etc., etc. Because of that reason, I'm going to go over 45.5 for their win total. Let me know if you guys disagree or if you think there might be a better trio of stars in the league outside of Curry, Dre, and Butler. Tell me what team you'd like to see me preview next. And again, thank you to Suncoast Sports for helping me with this video. Again, Suncoast Sports being a company on the app Fanatics Live. Fanatics Live being an app where we get exclusive NBA products and see autographs from the hottest rookies, stars, and legends. I'll link that down below in case you guys are interested in getting into the hobby. Until next time, thank you guys for watching.